little gray-haired grandmother said no. We know what happened. The jury, with the rest of the 11, they wanted to go home. They thought this woman was crazy. But when she started explaining what she had learned on one of our televisions, it rang a bell with one of the other ladies, so the second vote was 2-10. And when they came out the next day, it was 12 votes not guilty. The IRS lost 4 out of 5 of the criminal prosecutions they had in the state of Montana in 1980. I think it was 1982. I don't remember for sure. I didn't write it down. I went up to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Billings, Montana. This is the Reagan administration. I went up there to the U.S. Attorney's Office and I said, is Lorraine Gallinger, and she was the number 2 assistant U.S. attorney, well, she was the top assistant U.S. attorney. She said, she's here, I'll go back. I said, I want to talk to her. She went back, the receptionist went back, and she came back in a minute, and she said, yes, Lorraine will talk to you. I had several visits with Lorraine in the past, and so I went back there and I said, Lorraine, I said, we've been monitoring what you do pretty close. And we haven't been able to see where you have been able to get a criminal indictment against anybody in the state of Montana on IRS charges in this entire year. It was the last working day of the year. And she didn't want to answer. When she didn't want to answer, I knew what the answer was. But I finally pried it out of her. I said, Lorraine, don't play games with me. I said, we've been watching. She said, yeah, we haven't been able to get an indictment. We want to hear that we want that kind of news. We want to hear that on a regular basis in this state. Your state legislature just passed a gun control thing that made the internet all over this nation. You made heroes out of everybody in Montana with that gun bill. You've got some people that are getting motivated, and every single one of you need to be motivated to help these people. These people that are putting all this effort, they're investing their time and their energies and whatnot. It kind of reminds you of the signers of the Constitution. They said, we pledge our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. These people that are working so hard to bring these meetings to you, they've made some pledges to themselves, and they're doing a great work, and they're going to try to put together an initiative. It's going to take a lot of signatures. It's going to take a lot of investment of your time and your effort to get the signatures on those petitions and get that on the ballot and then get it across, voted on next November. That's not too far away, just next November. That's going to come up real quick. I want to see that happen in this state. I've been just hoping that that would happen in this state. But you see, with the new Montana Constitution, you haven't seen anything in the way of grand juries. Why? Because they put it in there that your grand juries can only be called by a district court judge. And let me tell you something. There is something that district court judges really fear. And anytime we can put some fear on their backs, we better not miss the opportunity. They're scared to death of grand juries because there isn't a one of them that doesn't have skeletons in their closet. There isn't a one of them, I don't think, that hasn't got some shady deals. We had a district court judge in Livingston, Montana that was a real scumbag, and the people finally got rid of him. Judge Batten appointed him U.S. magistrate. When Judge Batten quit, they appointed this judge to be a federal judge. Talk about getting kicked upstairs. We don't need that, and we don't want that. We can't have that and have an orderly society. We can't have that in this country and enjoy our freedoms and our liberties. We've got to put a stop to it, and it's you people out there. You're suffering right now because of this Holocaust that has hit us in the economy in this country. I dare say there's not a one of you here that hasn't felt the effects of this economic failure that we've got going on. And let me tell you something, you have not seen the worst yet. I don't care what Obama and his crew say, it's going to get a whole lot worse, and it's what I was telling you about. We the people are the ones that suffer because we let it happen. Amen. We let it happen because we didn't know. That's why I'm here. Now, let's go down here. We got another line across here, and here's the Constitution. The Constitution is below us. Yeah, in the pecking order, the Constitution is below us. The President of the United States in the executive branch of government, you go to Article 2 of the Constitution and it gives you the law that created the executive branch of government. Under the Constitution, not above it. That's why they take that oath, to uphold and defend that Constitution. That's what that oath is all about. The legislative branch of government, the law creating the legislative branch is in Article 1 of the Constitution. You go to Article 3 of the Constitution, and that is the law that created the judicial branch of government. They're all down here. We're up here. You've heard this word sovereignty. They had a sovereignty resolution before the state legislature. But I dare say that the people that were talking sovereignty really didn't understand that you, the people out here, are the sovereigns. We want state government to be sovereign over the federal government. This state came into the Union under what they call an Enabling Act. You go read that Enabling Act, it says that Montana was to come into the Union on an equal footing with the original 13 colonies. Now that might not mean too much to you, but after I read it a few times, it started to soak in. You see, the first 13, they are the ones who created the Constitution. They were sovereign because they were creators of the Constitution. And we come in on an equal footing, which means that we, in Montana, have the same authority, the same powers. We are the creators. We join with the creators. We're the creators of that Constitution and the Bill of Rights. We're the creators of it. Now, what does the state legislature and the U.S. Congress, what do they do when they write a law? Oh, they send out the Highway Patrol and the FBI and the CIA and everybody else out there to enforce the law they create. Well, if we created the supreme law of the land, how come we aren't putting somebody out there to enforce it? No militia. Has anybody ever told you that every single one of you here, if you're an American citizen, you are law enforcement? You are the highest law enforcement in this country. That trial jury over there, it demonstrates the power of one person that knows. You can have a jury trial. One person on that jury that knows, and 11 people that don't know, and that one person can cause a mistrial, a hung jury, and they don't get a conviction. One person on that jury has more power than the President of the United States. He's a public servant. Oh, this ought to make your muscles just starting to swell up and flex your muscles, your mental muscles, all of them.